Good morning, Michael and Anna. Good morning, Penelope. It is a beautiful morning, isn't it? Yes, it is. What a great time of year to be in San Francisco, early June. It feels good to be alive. We're hungry, Penelope. Yes, hello, Anna. What's it going to be for you this morning? Oh, the Bayside Grill takes a cup of morning coffee. Sure. What's it going to be for you, Mike? Give me the paradise pancakes and a cup of morning coffee. I'll have a repeat. Mike and Elena are sitting at their favorite booth in front of the window having a deep conversation when all of a sudden they hear the sound of the Squeeze song, Tempted, from a car on the street, and then the sound of a car crash. They look out the window and see a very puzzling sight. It appears to be the crash that took place in the original Reality Bites at the beginning of the movie when Elena threw a lit cigarette into Michael's car and then crashed into it. It appears to be exactly that scene unfolding, but somehow spliced into Reality Bites 2 in the streets in front of Pancakes by the Bay in San Francisco. The same chain of events takes place in a new context. Michael, Elena, and Vicky get out of their cars and go into Pancakes by the Bay to sort through the situation. By entering, Elena looks right at her character, Elena from Reality Bites, with a bewildered look at her face. Elena from Reality Bites looks back at her. Elena, Vicky, and Michael grab a table. I'm so sorry for these unfortunate circumstances. What's your name? It's Michael Grates. I'm so sorry. That's a nice fucking car. It's too bad it's a lump of mangled steel now after I got to it. What a beautiful car that was before I destroyed it. How can I make it up to you? Let me see, I don't know. You're such a nice person and so darn cute. Why don't you just buy me some pancakes and coffee and maybe get me a bus pass that covers the Houston area? Thanks for being so forgiving, Michael. That's a display of unbelievable character. I turned your beautiful car into a lump of mangled steel, forcing you to take a miserable 2-hour bus ride to work every day with God only knows what kind of schizophrenic people you might be on the bus with. And you accept my apology to be served up with pancakes? Oh, thanks for joining me. I hope you subscribe to my YouTube channel. This is Reality Bites 2. Don't completely be mistaken. I am fuming inside. But pancakes in your beautiful face somehow improves my mood. Can I also get a date out of this? No. No! You destroyed my car! And you're gonna give me a bus pass? And I can't even get a lousy date out of it? I hope you also subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks for joining me. No thanks. All of a sudden, Penelope comes up to the table. Excuse me, I couldn't help but overhear your conversation. I just wanted to let you know. You were not in Houston, Texas. You were in San Francisco, California. What? All of a sudden, Elena from Reality Bites 2 approaches them. It's true. I saw the accident happen. That's the scene from Reality Bites that was somehow spliced into Reality Bites 2, set here in San Francisco. Are you serious? Now that's far out. We need to figure out how to get you back into Reality Bites. In the meantime, would you and Michael like to come to Mike's condominium to watch a performance of William Shakespeare dialogue? Sure. They went back to Mike's condominium to watch Mike and Winona perform some William Shakespeare dialogue. Here's an excerpt from it. Now we're going to go get my William Shakespeare book. Okay. I would like to do a Midsummer Night's Dream. Since this is the midsummer. Midsummer Night's Dream, introduction by Alec Yearling. Of the handful of plays where the material seems to have been essentially of Shakespeare's own invention, A Midsummer Night's Dream is by some way the most sturdily put together. Within a framing situation of the impending nuptials of Theseus and Hippolyta, three actions are juxtaposed, alternating and interconnecting the story of the four lovers being the most elaborate in terms of the plot, and that of the rehearsing mechanicals the most rudimentary. In both of these, the willfulness of the fairy world intrudes, temporarily in the transformation of a bottom, permanently in the continuing enchantment of Demetrius, which allows the lovers' initial ragged ensemble to emerge as a symmetrical pairing. The various actions echo each other without falling into too schematic a pattern of parallel or contrast. Theseus and Hippolyta have come through antagonism to mutual love. Oberon bests Titiana by humiliating her until she seeks his love and protection. The mortal lovers endure the hazards common to their kind. Parental opposition, passion unrequited, infidelity, betrayal, until they and their situation are satisfactorily adjusted. And the mechanicals play out a miniature Romeo and Juliet, which would be tragedy were not inadvertently presented as farce. It would, in fact, be easy to summarize many incidents as to make the play seem darker and more threatening than it proves. Titiana is degraded by an amorous involvement with a bestial clown. Hermia threatened with death or the nunnery. Old friendships ripped up in sexual rivalry, sadomasochistic tendencies, and the world's rulers. As it is, merriment is what Theseus commands on first entrance, and on the way toward the final fairy benediction over our overriding response is laughter. Everything provokes it. Our puck-like superiority to characters, conditioned responses, our recognition of actuality in the acrimonious verbal exchanges, above all, almost invariable pleasure taken in the performance of what is one of Shakespeare's most bounteous gifts to the acting profession. What binds it all together is an imaginative wholeness wherein the early Shakespeare's free lyrical flow is directed towards a unified vision which proves to be both ironic and celebratory. Night, dreams, and the moon are invoked at the outset, and they come increasingly to be linked with the idea of irrational sight. Sight which is at odds both with what the object is and is known to be. Shakespeare teases out this theme until it embraces the audience as well as every element of the play. I would my father look but with my eyes, said Hermia. And it is, of course, upon the eyes that the juice of the purple flower is squeezed. All see what they are inclined to see. The inclination is sometimes involuntary, sometimes willed, sometimes coerced. Oberon and Puck's enchantment stands for the delusive powers of darkness and dreaming, or for lunacy, or for the vagaries of the heart. Lysander and Demetrius are agreed in the first scene to be much of a muchness. Hermia and Helena have names that denote the potential interchangeability which will become actual in the chaotic middle of the play, with at any point one beloved and one not. The mysteries of inclination are not to be solved by objective scrutiny. And meanwhile, what the spectators are encouraged to see is not by any means what they scrutinize. While the text repeatedly evokes a miniaturized fairy world, which is delicate and tenebrous and sometimes invisible, what is seen are full-sized human beings, even boys not being especially miniature. Moreover, What the original audiences presumably saw was day-lit and without benefit of scenery, suspension of disbelief, like inclination is a potent thing. The mechanical's efforts are subject to the same enhancement. Hippolyta's initial resistance to their play is rebuked by her husband. This is the silliest stuff that I ever heard. The best in this kind are but shadows, and the worst are no worse, if imagination of men, then. It must be your imagination, then, and not theirs. By line 282, her imagination, and with it her feelings, have been engaged. Beshrew my heart. But I pity the man. We may remember that at the start of this act, Theseus likened poetic creation to the delusions of lovers and madmen. Something the play at once illustrates and demonstrates. It is a more insidious, even subliminal version of what Henry V's chorus exhorts us. Piece out our imperfections with your thoughts, not that there be many imperfections in what is proved to be the most enduringly popular and genuinely comic of Shakespeare's earlier comedies. Act 1, Scene 1, Athens. The palace of Theseus. Enter Theseus, Hippolyta, Philostrate, and attendants. Now, fair Hippolyta, our nuptial hour draws on apace. 4 happy days bring in another moon, but oh, methinks, how slow this moon wanes. She lingers my desires like a stepdame or a dowager, long withering out a young man's revenue. 4 days will quickly steep themselves in night. 4 nights will quickly dream away the time. And then the moon, like to a silver bow, new bent in heaven, shall behold the night of our solemnities. Go, Philostrate, stir up the Athenian youth to merriments. Awake the pert and nimble spirit of mirth. Turn melancholy forth to funerals. The pale companion is not for our pomp. Hippolyta, I wound thee with my sword, and won thy love the injuries. But I will wed thee in another key, with pomp, with triumph, and with reveling. Enter Aegeus and his daughter Hermia, Lysander, and Demetrius. Happy be Theseus, our renowned duke. Thanks, good Aegeus. What's the news with thee? Full of vexation come. I, with complaint against my child, my daughter Hermia, stand forth, Demetrius, my noble lord. This man hath my consent to marry her. Stand forth, Lysander, and my gracious duke, this man hath bewitched the bosom of my child. Thou, Lysander, thou hast given her the rhymes, and interchanged love tokens with my child. Thou hast by moonlight at her window sung, with feigning voice, verses of feigning love, and stolen the impression of her fantasy with bracelets of thy hair. Rings, gauds, conceits, necks, trifles, nosegaves, sweetmeats, messengers, of strong prevailment, and unhardened youth. With cunning hast thou flinched my daughter's heart, turned her obedience, which is due to me, to stubborn harshness. And my gracious duke, be it so, she will not here before your grace consent to marry with Demetrius. I beg the ancient privilege of Athens. As she is mine, I may dispose of her, which shall be either to this gentleman or to her death, according to our law, immediately provided in that case. What say you, Hermia? Be advised, fair maid, to you your father shall be as a god. one that composed your beauties, yea, and one to whom you are but as a form in wax, by him imprinted, and within his power to leave the figure or disfigure it. Demetrius is a worthy gentleman. So is Lysander. In himself he is, but in this kind, wanting your father's voice, the other must be held worthier. I would like my father looked but with my eyes. Rather your eyes must with his judgment look. I do entreat your grace to pardon me. I know not by what power I am made bold, nor how it may concern my modesty. In such a presence here to plead my thoughts. But I beseech your grace that I may know the worst that may befall in this case, if I refuse to wed Demetrius. Either to die the death, or to abjure for every society of men. Therefore, fair Hermia, question your desires. Know of your youth. Examine well your blood, whether if you yield not to your father's choice, you can endure the livery of a nun. For I to be in shady cloister mewed, to live a barren sister all your life. Chanting faint hymns in the cold fruitless moon. Thrice blessed, they that master sow their blood to undergo such maiden pilgrimage. But earthly are happy as the rose distilled, and that which withering on the virgin thorn grows, lives, and dies in single blessedness. So will I grow, so live, so die, my lord, ere I will yield my virgin patent up unto his lordship, whose unwished yoke my soul consents not to give sovereignty. Take time to pause, and by the next new moon, the sealing day betwixt my love and me, for everlasting bond of fellowship, upon the day, either prepare to die for disobedience to your father's will, or to wed Demetrius, as he would, or on Diana's altar to protest for austerity and single life. Relent, sweet Hermia, and Lysander yield. Thy crazed title is my certain right. You have her father's love, Demetrius. Let me have Hermia's. Do you marry him? Scornful Lysander, true, he hath my love. And what is mine, my love shall render him, and she is mine. And all my right of her I do estate unto Demetrius. As well deserved as he. As well possessed. My love is more than his. My fortunes every way is fairly ranked, if not with vantage, as Demetrius. And which is more than all these boasts can be. I am beloved of beauteous Hermia. Why should I not then prosecute my right? Demetrius, I'll vouch it to his head. Made love to Nader's daughter, Helena, and won her soul. And she, sweet lady, dotes. Devoutly dotes. Dotes in idolatry. Upon this spotted and inconsistent man. I must confess that I have heard so much, and with Demetrius thought to have spoke thereof. But, being overfull of self-affairs, my mind did lose it. But Demetrius, come, and come, Aegeus, you shall go with me. I have some private schooling for you both. For you, fair Hermia, look you unto yourself, to fit your fancies to your father's will. Or else the law of Athens yields you up. Which by no means we may extenuate to death, or to a vow of single life. Come, my Hippolyta, what cheer, my love? Demetrius and Aegeus go along. I must employ you in some business, again, our nuptial, and confer with you, of something nearly that concerns yourselves. With duty and desire, we follow you. Exeunt all but Lysander and Hermia. How now, my love? Why is your cheek so pale? How chance the roses there do fade so fast? Belike for want of rain, which I could well beteem them for the tempest of my eyes. I mean, for aught that I could ever read, could ever hear by tale or history, the course of true love never did run smooth, but either was different in blood. O cross too high to be enthralled too low. Or else misgraft in respect of years. O spite, too old to be engaged to young. Or else to be stood upon the choice of friends. Oh hell, to choose love by another's eyes. Or, if there were sympathy in choice, war, death, or sickness did lay siege to it, making it momentary as a sound, swift as a shadow, short as any dream, brief as the lightning in the cowled night, that in a spleen unfolds both heaven and earth. And ere a man hath power to say, behold, the jaws of darkness do devour it up. So quick, bright brings things to conclusion. If then true lovers have ever been crushed, it stands as an edict in destiny. Then let us teach our trial patience, because it is a customary cross. As do love, as thoughts and dreams and sighs, wishes and tears, poor fancy's followers. A good persuasion, therefore, Hermia, I have a widow aunt, the dowager, of great revenue, and she has no child. From Athens is her house room 7 leagues, and she respects me as her only son. There, gentle Hermias, and then to the place of the shop with any love. Go speed for fair Helenia, whither would come, then again, take comfort, be no more shall see my face. Lysander and myself by this place. And, let's see, I'm gonna go to the, Romeo and Juliet. Romeo and Juliet, Act 2, Scene 2. Capulet's orchard, enter Romeo. He just the scars that never felt the wound. Enter Juliet above the window. But soft, what light through yonder window breaks is the east. And Juliet is the sun. Arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon, who is already sick and pale with grief, that thou her maid art more fair than she? Be not her maid, for she is envious. Her vestal livery is but second grade, none but fools do wear. Cast it off, is my lady, oh, she is my love, oh, that she knew she were. She speaks, that she says nothing. What of that? Her eye discourses, I will answer it. Two of the fairest stars in all the heaven, having some business, do entreat her eyes till they twinkle their spheres, till they return. What if her eyes were there? What if her eyes were there, they in her head? The brightness of her cheek would shame those stars as daylight doth a lamp. With her the airy region streams so bright that birds would sing and think it were not night. See how she leans her cheek upon her hand? Oh, that were a glove upon that hand. Then I might touch that cheek. I mean, she speaks, oh, speak again, bright angel, for thou art as glorious this night, being over my head, as is a winged messenger of heaven, under the white upturned wondering eyes of mortals that fall back to gaze on him, when he bestrides the lazy pacing clouds, and sails upon the bosom of the air. Lady, by yonder blessed moon I vow that tips with silver all those fruit tree tops. Oh, swear not by the moon, the inconstant moon, that monthly changes in her circled orb, lest that thy love prove likewise variable. What shall I swear by? Do not swear at all. Or, if thou wilt, swear by the gracious self, which is the God of my idolatry, and I'll believe thee. If my heart still love, well, do not swear, although I joy in thee, I have no joy in this contract tonight. It is too rash, too unadvised, too sudden, too like the lightning which doth cease to be, ere one can say it light and sweet good night. This bud of love by summer's ripening breath might prove a beauteous life flower when next we meet. Good night, as sweet repose and rest. Come to my heart, come to thy heart as that within my breast. Oh, wilt thou leave me so unsatisfied? What satisfaction canst thou have tonight? The exchange of thy love's faithful vow for mine. I gave thee mine, before thou didst request it, and yet I would have were to give again. Wouldst thou withdraw it? For what purpose, love? But to be frank, I give it thee again. And yet I wish for the thing I have. My bounty is as boundless as the sea. My love is deep. The more I give to thee, the more I have, for both are infinite. I hear some noise within, dear love, do an on good nurse, sweet Montague, be true, stay but a little, I'll come again. Oh, blessed night, I'm afeard. Being a night, this is all but a dream, too flattering sweet to be substantial. And skip to later in the play. I like this part of the play where I get to act like a badass. Okay, what about it? Okay. Okay, I'm going to go to the badass part of the play. Wait, okay. Um, Give me that Medak and the wrenching iron. Hold, take this letter early in the morning, see thou delivered to my father. Give me the light upon thy life, I charge thee. Whatever thou hearest or seest, stand all aloof. And do not interrupt me in my course while I descend in this bed of death, is partly to behold my lady's face, but chiefly to take thence from her dead finger a precious ring. A ring that I must use in dear employment. Therefore hence be gone. What if thou jealous dost return to pry what I farther shall intend to do? By heaven, I will tear thee joint by joint and strew this hungry churchyard with thy limbs. The time and my intents are savage wild, more fierce and more inexorable than empty tigers of the roaring sea. And will be gone, sir, and not trouble ye. So shalt thou show me friendship, take thy living to be prosperous, and farewell, good fellow. The very end of the play. This letter doth make good the friar's words. The course of love, the tidings of her death, and here he writes that he did buy a poison of a poor apothecary, and therewithal came to this fault to die, and lie with Juliet. Where be these enemies? Capulet, Montague? See what a scourge is laid upon your hate, that heaven finds means to kill your joys with love. And I, for winking at your discords too, have lost a brace of kinsmen. All are punished. Oh, brother Montague, give me thy hand. This is my daughter's jointure, for no more can I demand. But I can give thee more, for I will raise her statue in pure gold, that whiles Verona by that name is known. There shall be no figure at such rate be set as that of true and faithful Juliet. As rich shall Romeo's by his lady's life, poor sacrifices of our enmity. A glooming peace this morning with it brings, the sun for sorrow will not show his head. Go hence, to have more talk of these sad things. Some shall be pardoned, and some punished. For never was a story of more woe than this of Juliet and her Romeo.